Welcome to Glammed and Unfiltered, the show where real stories meet real style. I'm Klisha Shug Green, trucking logistics boss by day, social media maven by night. And I'll be your captain through all the hustle, heart, and unapologetic truth.
And I'm Rosie.
Peachez Hampton.
Rosie Peachez Hampton, your musical genius with a soul as sweet as my name. From opera halls to street corners, I'm here to soundtrack every triumphant tear. Hey y'all, I'm Jackie Woodard, the culture curator who's never afraid to go there. Expect raw takes, savage truths, and that unapologetic spice you can't find anywhere.
Family, you're locked into Glammed and Unfiltered, where we keep it raw, real, and unapologetic popping. I'm Shug, and today we have Peachez and we have Miss Jackie. Thank y'all for joining. We are gonna get this platform up and popping. So, me and Peachez was talking earlier this week, and we have a great topic about summer youth jobs. Remember the summer youth jobs we used to have? Did you ever?
At all. No, I never had a
Oh.
summer job. I always I started working when I was 17. So from that point, I just was working. I didn't ever do a summer job thing.
Because I know I had a job. I had a summer job through Partners 2000, and then it changed over to iNet. And when it changed over to iNet, a lot of the principles changed over with it. But I noticed that the the youth that had summer jobs, and that's just with any summer job platform, they are more likely to be self-sufficient. Because with my kids, I bought them their necessities. I didn't go above and beyond to buy them things that they did not absolutely need, because it was one of me raising them. So I gave them like the necessities. And I explained to them, I said, when y'all get older and y'all get y'all job, y'all can buy for yourself. So when they did get summer jobs, or just regular jobs, I didn't take their money. Like some people, take their kids' money and they offer. I said, no, just take your money and buy you things. That's less I have to. If you making $400 or $500 every paycheck, you can go buy you them shoes you like, them Jordans and all that. If I'm buying you shoes, you're gonna get some regular, maybe Air Force Ones if I'm being generous. I ain't gonna have you going to school being picked on and bullied, but you're not gonna get all that. You're not gonna get what you want. I taught them how to work for what you want. Work hard, play harder. So as I ride, especially through Atlanta, because down here in Atlanta, these youngsters they feel like they entitled. Like, they'll walk up to you, they're entitled for your change when you come in there. Here, they catch you before you going in the store. And I always get on, I'm like, at least offer to pump my gas. Why you want my dollar? You watching me sit here at this gas pump pumping my gas, but you asking me for $1. Pump the gas, and then I might give you $10. You know what I'm saying? But just do something. Just be supportive and help me help you. You know what I'm saying? And in this day and age where everybody feels like they're entitled, even with the grown-ups, they feel like you entitled to food stamps. You're not entitled to food stamps. You know, back then they was just giving them away. Everybody thought that, hey, once you turn 18 and had a baby, you get food stamps. And then when you have to sit in there and they tell you, no, you're not entitled to these food stamps, you make too much money. So what did they start doing? They start quitting the jobs backwards. So do y'all see where, especially in the African American community, do y'all see where or race is going. I mean, just think about it. I seen this thing on Facebook, and it said this is what the grandma's gonna look like in 30 years from now. They're gonna have face tattoos, lip
I see that.
fillers. You know what I'm saying? Microblade eyebrows and BBL. You seen that on there? And I
Mhm.
said that's what they're gonna look like, and they ain't gonna be able to know how to cook. Can't give you advice. You know what I'm saying? Because I asked the one I used to work with a
Mm.
girl. She had a face tattoo and she was running late for work. But I never knew she had face tattoos because she always put foundation on. So I told her, I said, well, I don't put foundation on my tattoos. Even when I'm working, I work or I might put on a long sleeve shirt if they got a policy against tattoos, but I got my tattoos to be expressive. So why are you covering it up on your face? That tells me that wasn't a good idea. So
But
what's y'all thoughts? I'm gonna put my phone on mute and y'all go ahead and talk it out.
my thing is this: you are correct in a lot of entitlements for a lot of things. As and one of the things that you use that I wanted to add on to as an example, like you have these men who have children, and if they're not with the baby mama, they don't want to take care of the kids, and then they want to get mad when she put them on child support, so they quit their job so they don't have to pay child support, but you got a kid to take care of. That makes zero sense to me. You don't have to be in a relationship with somebody because sometimes things just don't work out. Y'all was cool when y'all was together, you got pregnant, whatever. Sometimes it just don't work out, sometimes it do. But take care of your kids. Like what is the problem with you taking care of your kids, or why do you have to have somebody else take care of your kids for you because you don't want to do it because you're mad at the mother? And then what you also said about these face tattoos. I'm like you. I have tattoos. My tattoos have a meaning, and every tattoo is a conversation piece. But I because I want to be in a professional setting, why would I put tattoos all over my face? That makes zero sense. On top of when you get your tattoo, you also say, "Hey, when I get 80 years old and I'm all wrinkled up, what that tattoo gonna look like?" So to me, I'm like you. That makes zero sense. You put it on there for whatever reason. You put it on there. Why are you covering it up with makeup? Express yourself. But you should have thought about it before you did it, because I got my very first tattoo. I got at 25 years old. So I had plenty of time to think about what I wanted, to make sure what I got was something that when I turn 80, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be I regret getting it. None of my tattoos I regret getting. So with that being said, why would you put a tattoo? I mean, and I've seen, as you say that, I was somewhere, was it yesterday? And I seen a guy and a girl together, both of them, face full of tattoos. Oh, we went to a restaurant yesterday. That's Sunday. That's what it was, Sunday. And this guy and his girlfriend, I'm assuming that's his girlfriend, both of them, face full of tattoos. And I'm thinking, what do y'all do for a living? Y'all have to be a tattoo artist or something, because you're never going to have a real job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to give you the floor, Peaches. You go right ahead. I'm going to mute so you can.
Okay, back on the topic, as far as the youth now compared to when we was kids, or teenagers, we had lots of outlets. Like we had in Indiana, I don't know about other states, we had the Partners 2000, and then it changed over to the other one. So we had, instead of the teenagers being out in the streets and stuff like that, they worked. And then we'll hang up and meet up at the malls, or and then we had like little hangouts and things like that for us to go to. It's like the world now is all about social media. It kind of shut off. We had Boys and Girls Club, it shut off things like that, an outlet for teenagers, and it just made everybody isolated to me as far as the youth. So they don't have no, it's like they don't know how to communicate correctly now without any of that. They got to text or video somebody. That's the only way they know how to communicate these days. You could put two teenagers next to each other, and I've witnessed this because I've raised step kids and stuff. Two teenagers next to each other, complete strangers. When we was kids, we'll introduce ourselves. Hey, you want to go to the park, or you want to go to the mall, or you want to do this, you want to hang out, walk around the neighborhood, or whatever. These teenagers, they'll be sitting like this, and then they'll have their phone in their hand, and this is how they communicate. They don't have no. It's like they don't have a sense of none of that, like identity or nothing. It's like they're lost, and I fear for our future. But what y'all think about that?
Let me pipe in on this, and I totally agree because if you pay attention, back in our day, we had conversation. If I had a problem with you, I didn't take it to Facebook. I called you. And I had to be quiet when I called you because I didn't want my mama to know I had all this going on because she'll show up at the bus stop and embarrass me. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not confrontational. I don't like to confront nobody, and I don't like to be confronted. So I will pull you to the side and talk to you and see maybe we can work this out. But nowadays, when you talk to a young person, they're not used to interpersonal communication. It's all through the cell phone. So when they're not used to that emotion in your voice, like if I come to you and be like, "Hey, did you say this?" They're gonna take that as an act of aggression versus it being, you know, somebody told me you said this, or I don't put people in it because my motto is if it came out your mouth, be prepared to repeat it. I don't care who you talking to. So if you keep that mindset, then you'll own up to your shit. And then there won't be no problems. But nowadays, like even my age, I'm 49. I have worked with some young girls. I'm talking about they young, they're grown, but they don't know how to wash their pussy. That young. You know what I'm saying? Because I done been in the bathrooms. If you done work with these brides, and that's how you tell. I ain't in nobody's bathroom when they're getting ready for work. But when when you leave when you have to tell them, hey, homegirl, your pussy in the bathroom, you left your pussy in there, that's the type of smell I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I done worked with some of them girls and their mouth is ratchet as fuck. They talk to you like no respect. I mean that may be how you talk to your mama. But if you talk to somebody, I'm somebody's mama. If you talk to me like that, then I'm gonna give you what your mama didn't give you. If you, because I talk shit back, but I won't put my hands on you. But the way I talk, it'll make somebody want to put their hands on me, and then I have to send them back to their mama to reevaluate their whole upbringing. But not saying that this is a violent platform, but this sometimes you just have to let these young folks know this ain't what you want. You know what I'm saying? And what we as grown black women or women, this is what burns me about women our age. We don't we put it off like they're unapproachable because 9 times out of 10 those young people are unapproachable. You can't really, they don't speak. You know what I'm saying? They, if you do speak to them, they won't speak back. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, go to McDonald's, especially McDonald's down here, especially McDonald's on Old National and Godby Road. I pulled up there one day. She said, "What you want?" I'm like, because I'm so used to going to Chick-fil-A and getting all that extra treatment. So when I pulled around, she was like, "Hey, hold up. You got to pull over there." So I said, I'm like, hold on, girl. I am not your homie. Show me. And I said, you know what? She's like, what? I said, you know what? I don't even want that shit. I don't want to take no food from somebody with that kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? Show a little respect, show a little compassion and courtesy that you have a job. If you go to work, just show up for work. And I'm gonna let you ladies finish. Pipe in on that, and I want to go in about these men. I want to go in about that too, and then we gonna wrap it up. It's always fun and laughter with Glammed and Unfiltered. Y'all ladies pipe in.
So I agree with you with these kids not knowing how to talk. And I also, Peaches, agree with you when you sit in a room with them, and it's even the ones that know each other. They sit in a room texting each other back and forth instead of, and that's where we have lost so much because nobody knows how to communicate. Communication is out the door. Nobody knows how to sit face to face without being offended because you say something and they can't take what you say, so it becomes the issue. So you especially with these young kids, when we were brought up, first of all, you was never gonna sit in a room full of adults anyway. Second of all, you speak when you're spoken to. Third, every time you talk to somebody, it's yes, ma'am, yes, sir, whatever. And these kids don't have it. They got the what. They teaching the little kids when you call it what. What? Who is you talking to? I don't know what is. Or, it's just so these next generations that are coming up after us that did not have the upbringing that we had from our big mamas, where our big mamas was 80 years old, our grandmamas was 60 years old when we were little. You know what I'm saying? You got 30-year-old grandmas. I know a girl, as a matter of fact, this is so weird. I know a chick. I think she live in Indy. I think she just turned 40. 40, she's 40 something. Her daughter is 20 something. Her mama is 60 something. And the great grandma is 80 something. And when you look at the mama, and I'm gonna tell you this, I'm thinking that the mother, the grandmother, and the daughter are about the same age. I mean, and when I say same age, I'm talking about not within. I'm giving them 20 years where it might be 15, 16 years age difference. You know what I'm saying? And so you look at it and it's like I'm looking at her like your mama thinks she just as young as you are. And so where is the respect coming from? Where are you going to learn to be respectful to your grandparents? How can you be respectful to your grandparents when your grandmother ain't but 40 years old? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just weird, and I feel sorry for the generation of kids that are coming up. Like, what are y'all intentions? Do y'all plan on being attorneys? Do y'all plan on being doctors? Do y'all plan on being nurses? What are your intentions? Like, do you want to listen to trap music all your life? Like, is that what the power couple is not a CNA and a damn drug dealer. That's not the power couple. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking CNAs for their jobs. I'm not saying that because you got to work to be a CNA, but I'm just saying that's not a power couple. That's not, you don't look up and say, "Ooh, we got it going on because this is what we do." Like, you used to want to be an attorney. You used to want to be a doctor. You used to want to be a nurse. You used to want to be something that's a movie star or something. I saw a little girl on Facebook. She was graduating from preschool, and you know how they always asking, "What you want to be when you grow up?" And she said she wanted to be a preacher. And I said, "Now look at her. Come on with that." You know what I'm saying? Because for you to be 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old, and that's your plan, God gonna touch her. You know what I'm saying? And if her speaking a word to somebody, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna get her where she need to be. I pray that she does get to be a preacher. I pray for that because we need that with those generations coming up. We need that.
Go ahead, Peaches. Y'all see you ready? You smiling and shit. Got this or something. Just
Yes,
smiling.
yes, yes.
There's a smiling there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, ladies. Like, it's just a generation that needs more strength. I think, a lot of us, my generation, I'm from the 80s. I was born in the 1980s. And I think the 70s and 80s babies uh, should work. with the work on that. And the 90s mothers need to work on how to actually, it starts at home. How your child is supposed to communicate. You don't just throw a phone or a video game in front of them and leave them and let that raise them. You know, make sure your kids is in touch with everything. Make them read a book sometime. Make them, be in touch outside, like how to just be outside, and take them on like events like that that's outdoors, so they can touch dirt. Some of these kids probably ain't never played in dirt, none of that like we did. It's just simple things like that goes a long way to me. Uh, and they need more outlets for the youth. They do.
You know, now,
They,
let me tell you about my niece, right? My niece, whew, this alpha, she worked at the Horsfield Jackson Airport, right? So I'm telling her, I said, you need to have 2 weekdays off because you got all this going on. You can't take care of your business. Georgia got a strict law on your kids having hearing and eye tests, not like Indiana. Like once you do all that in Indiana, you ain't got to worry about it. But every year before school, they got to have a hearing test, an eye test, and all that other tests, right? Hold on, wait. So I'm telling this helper, I'm like, you need an off day during the week. When you got small kids and you are a single parent, you don't have the luxury of working Monday through Friday and the weekends off. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your business. Because if you don't take care of it, guess what's going to happen? It's going to pile up, and then you're going to have no choice but to miss work. And when you miss work, you miss money. And she's like, everybody, I'm not going to miss no money. I said, well, if you don't take care of it, then you ain't going to have no babysitter. School, everybody know it. Me as a mother, especially a single mother, I knew school was a free babysitter. So my kids made honor roll and perfect attendance. The kids that make perfect attendance are the kids who got working parents. Because if you take care of the business, then you can drop their asses off at school and you can take your ass to work. And then all you coming out, it maybe is before and after care, which is way cheaper than daycare. You know what I'm saying? Some schools here, I was paying $40 a week, which I thought was good, because that took care of everything and it gave me time, comfort time to get to my child. I ain't want to get out work and then have to, especially through Atlanta traffic, have to rush through that. Because anything, like I tell people, anytime you go on that ramp, you ain't no telling what you going to get. That's why I tell my son, I don't care. I might get you to work in 15 minutes, even though it's a 30-minute ride. But that's not every day. So we're going to leave an hour early. And I got that so instilled in him that even though he drives like a bat out of hell like me, he'll get to work early. Because to me, when you get to work on time, you're late. You know what I'm saying? You're late. So my damn recording stopped because of that boy calling me on my phone. But to make a long story short, you can't give motherly advice to these young girls because they didn't have a mother. If they did have a mother, they had a active babysitter. Because these girls. So let me tell you back to the story. So she's off on the weekends. Her excuse was, well, if I'm always working, then that's the weekends is the time for me and my kids, and I can be a mother to me and my kids. Let me tell you what a day in life of being a mother to her and her kids. Her oldest child is on PlayStation from the time he wake up to the time he go to sleep. The other child, the other two, they fighting over a tablet because one of them broke their tablet, so the mother made them use the other two use a tablet, and the baby run around crying all day. And guess what, mama at? On the phone, on the couch with her phone. This is the quality time that you want to spend with your kids. You don't spend no time with them, none, and that's sad because these are the people that are raising the next generation of children, and it don't look good. Those kids came in, like I told her, I said, those kids tell all your business. Like as soon as they would come and sit and tell me all they mama business, and I told her, I said, and I told her, I said, you need to check your kids. Because my mama had a firm belief. My house was like Vegas. What happens in this house stays in this house. You can't even motherfucking say, well, my mom pop. Well, I was gonna say my mama is pretty. Thank you very much. You can't even say my mama. My mama heard you, especially to the grandma, to your grandma. If you say my mama to grandma, shit, she gonna knock your ass, and then you just like, I was just saying, my mama bought me a new dress. You couldn't even finish that because my mama, I'm a firm believer in kids are to be seen and not heard. And that's my firm belief. So y'all ladies tell me about that. Then we're gonna get in on these men and then we're gonna get the hell on. And thank y'all.
With you, there. And I think once, like Peaches said, being brought up in the 70s, 80s, whatever, you know, these kids just ain't ready. And the thing is, you can try to teach them as much as you can because I know I raised my kids pretty much the way I was raised. But I can tell you that all three of my daughters raised their kids totally different. I have one who and I'm not knocking what she does, but she gentle parents. And I don't it may work, it may not. I don't know. Um and then I have one who thinks that if she yells to the top of her lungs of everything that she gonna do to them, that's gonna stop them from doing anything. That don't always work either. Like they looking at you like you crazy. Sometimes you yell and they jump, but you got to be careful about doing that because here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing: she never whoops her kids, but when she walks up like she gonna whoop them, one of them always say, "No, mommy, no, mommy, no, don't whoop me." So if she does that out in public, somebody gonna think that she's abusing her kids. And even though she don't, and she has never whooped neither one of them. But the stuff that she says, "I'm gonna knock your fucking head off."
Mm-hmm.
So we also have to be mindful of stuff like that too. And I was that type of parent. I think I cussed at my kids a lot. Um,
Ooh.
One thing I never did was I never called them bitches. I never called them. I know a girl that used to do that to her kids, her daughter. Every time she get mad at her, she was calling her everything but her name. Now I never did that. I might have told him I'm gonna fuck you up. I might have said some stuff like that, but I never called them out of their name. So, and I think that's just something as African Americans that we're just used to doing because we've seen it
Mm-hmm.
in each generation. And Big Mama might have said it differently. She might have been a little bit more sweet with it. And she probably, most Big Mamas didn't cuss. It was the mama that came after Big Mama that cussed. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's truly a different thing now. And I just, we have to, it takes a village to raise all of our kids. And we have to understand that with that village, we can't get mad if my neighbor called me and tell me that my grandbaby done something and I know how my grandbaby is. I'm not mad at my neighbor because she told, because I feel like that's what she's supposed to do. Am I gonna,
Mm-hmm.
baby, I'm chick shit out. You're absolutely correct. um I remember when my daughter was 16, my youngest girl was 16, and she was out in the neighborhood smoking weed. My buddy called her and she picked up the phone. She said, "Hey, so and so out there smoking weed." I said, "Okay, thank you." When that little heifer came in the house, I said, "What was you outside doing? Because you thought you was slick and did nobody see you. What was you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
"I was hanging with my friends." I said, "Well, what was you doing hanging with your friends?" You know what I'm saying? Don't do shit without me knowing what you're doing because I'd rather know. I can't stop you from doing stuff when I'm not around. I can't. I'm not a helicopter parent. I'm not going to hover over you. I want you to get out and experience things, but I also want you to be safe because if you smoking weed at 16, you got to know who you getting the weed from. You got to know what they put in that weed. You got to know every daggone thing that's going on when it comes to that weed because when they get done selling it to you and you laid out on the floor because they done put something in it and I don't know what's going on, who does that look bad on? I can't stop you from
Yeah.
smoking it because I can tell you wrong, don't do it. But I know you're gonna go out there and do it anyway because I told you not to. That's how people's minds tend to work. The more I tell you not to do it, the more you do it. So then if I tell you to do it, you less likely to do it because you want to know, well, why do I got the okay to do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's reverse psychology.
And my daughter, because they was working at Wendy's, and everybody, you live here, everybody down here smokes weed. And at the time, I was smoking weed. And so
Mhm.
I knew my son was doing it because I like, he'll come home, I'm like, this nigga high. That's what I'm thinking, right? So I, I, I got him. I said, look here. No, my friend, he was like, that nigga smoke weed. I said, I know he do. He's like, watch this. He said, go in the bathroom, and when you come out, I bet you he be hitting it. And as soon as I went in the bathroom, I came out, he hit it. I said, how long you been smoking? He said, Mom, I've been smoking weed. Now he's 16 days. I've been smoking for about 2 years. I said, okay. I said, now I'm going to teach you. And I said, now that I know that you know how to get high, that you get high, I'm going to teach you how to function while you're high. Because it's one thing to be high because it's a cool thing to do. But you gotta look at when you smoke a weed, everybody has different tolerance level. Like if you smoke a blunt with me, both of y'all probably pass the fuck out. I smoked the motherfucker and I got my tequila and my wine, rolling up another blunt, depending on how I feel. I have high tolerance for smoking marijuana, but I was not always like that because I used to I smoke it and then I smoke it for a while, then I stop. And then my tolerance level. So once I realized that, A, I'm never stopped smoking weed. I'm taking that to the grave with me. And B, this is something I need to do. So I have to be able to be functional while I'm smoking. Because a lot of places, either like I told Peachez this morning, I said I'm either high while I'm on my way there,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm gonna get high when I get there, or I got high before I got there. And then first thing they say, oh, you smell like weed. And I say, you smell like you missed out. You missed out on this blunt. You know what I'm saying? And weed to me is medicine. I use it for a different thing. I don't think it's a drug, but you do have to have your children aware because they putting fentanyl and everything. When I first moved here, like this was in Savannah, it was 6 teenagers at a graduation party. All 6 of those kids didn't make it to college. They all died. They OD'd because somebody put fentanyl on the weed. And see, weed, they say fentanyl breaks down because it can't be smoked. So that's why people don't think that it's in weed. But if it's laced on top of the weed and it's when it burns, it smells like wood. It don't smell like weed. It smells like wood. And then you got to think about it. If your dealer, because the nigga I get my weed from, this nigga sell fentanyl. He sell all kinds of drugs. So when I go over there, I make sure he don't put that. I'm like, you got a different scale because it takes just a little bit, and that can take you out. And so that's why you have to be mindful of what these kids are doing. These kids are on some powerful, powerful drugs. Like we didn't have these kind of drugs when we was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Our weed still had seeds in it. And you better hope you didn't get the shake bag when you went and mustered up your $5 for your nickel bag. Because there could be a bag full of motherfucking seeds in that motherfucker. But see, I was lucky. My mama sold weed. So I used to take her shit and go to work. And go to school and sell the shit. Because I think that was my
Oh,
first trip.
young hustler.
Yeah. Shit, they sell penny candy and all that shit. I go to Bob's and Brightwood and buy me motherfucking 50-cent white penny candy. Take it to school. Now it's 2 cents. Now I need $1 for
Oh, it
this
was
bag
that
of
good.
candy. I was selling 2-cent candy before they started selling the shit. But to make a long story short, this is great conversation. These are the conversations that we have at Glammed and Unfiltered. We might be doing a revamp on the cast. This is our second podcast. And I'd like to thank Miss Jackie Woodard, Miss Rosie Hampton. I don't know why the hell I want to keep calling you Roses.
Damn, nobody
Rosie
else named me
Hampton.
that.
Who the hell thought your name was motherfucking Rose?
I'm Rosie. That's new.
Ooh, girl,
Hey.
I probably would have picked on you in school because I was a bully. I probably would have picked on you.
Oh, I would have joined
If
back.
I
I
was
was with the
husband, but
shits.
nah, I would have picked on you because you had them crazy ass poses. Oh no, everybody want to fuck with them crazy motherfuckers. Nah, I probably would have been like, hey, I'm gonna leave that little girl alone because she got the crazy siblings that come and fuck you up. But anyway, I want to say this real quick, and then we gonna let this go, and it's gonna be our topic for the next show. What do y'all ladies do? Not you, Peaches, but ladies that are on the wood side of the fence. What do y'all do when you having when you hook up? Cause I'm not married. I know Jackie, you married, so you probably, but you wasn't always married, so you did date. So what do y'all
And I
do
wasn't always gay.
when you call a nigga a man over? You know, to get your rocks off or get your look at that.
I see this subject got you
Girl,
This
clumsy
goddamn
now.
thing fell
her
down.
parts.
It was was
But
it the
anyway, what do
wood?
y'all do when you call a man over? You just trying to get your rocks off, and the nigga start the man. Let me stop. Let me start using words that people can.
Nigga.
When the gentleman start touching the crazy part of the pussy, you know the part that okay, I called you over here just to get my rocks off. Why are we doing all this aerobic shit? Why are you doing this extra shit? And I would tell them, hold on now, move back over because now you in the crazy part of the pussy. And the crazy part of the pussy, so what do y'all do when a man hits? And even and y'all don't hold on, y'all ain't got no connection. We just vibing on the sexual. We using condoms. So you don't have when you use the condoms, you don't supposed to be doing all these aerobics because that's how the condoms slip off and shit. So how do y'all steer it back to, hey, this is just a casual sex thing. This is not going to be you looking out your window because there's crazy bitches out there burning up your car and shit. No, I don't do that.
So
Go
is
This is
this
ahead,
what
gonna
Pete.
you do.
be, or is this
This is what
next
you
week?
do. Hold on. Hold on. You end up married like Jackie or me. That's what happens when you keep hitting the crazy part of the coochie. You end up married. That's what happens. Or pregnant. One of the two. But go ahead. I'm just talking shit.
So we're gonna leave on that topic because you know if we start talking about it now, we're gonna be talking for another 45 minutes. So that'll be
Join us next week.
I wrote it down. So that's gonna be the topic for next week.
Okay. Join us next week for Glammed and Unfiltered. We have Peaches, Jackie, and Shug. And we
Let's
gonna shake up
go.
the things and thank y'all for joining. And thank y'all ladies. Peaches, I'm about to call you. Jackie, you be
Peace.
safe where you going. And I think this is gonna be a good one because I ain't gotta do too much editing because it's all there. All
Yes, sir.
right, Jackie, call me when you
Testies.
Okay.
All
See
right,
y'all
y'all.
later.
all right. Bye bye.
I don't even know how to hang up. Ah.
I'll hang it up. Bye.
Ah.